Five gonna get taken away. So Tristana Corki, which often is on the down list, taken, not taken off the board this time around. The Ashe still gonna be the priority. Can obviously go both ways, but most likely that's gonna go towards Henna. I think Duro isn't really an Ashe type of guy, and we'll see. I also, obviously, taking away Ashe, I think is great. And so the 1-2 is great. I do think that FAKER's Tristana has definitely been
plants.
It's been volatile. I don't think he's really been able to match the consistent level of play that we're very used to seeing with FAKER, but the combo, it's self-explanatory, all right? It's going to be double A carry, probably pick up Ezreal here, even though you might struggle on lane. I feel like that 1-2-3 is still going to feel amazing.
Yeah, you can see Gumayushi actually having a little bit of a consider here. Not looking too vocal, though. See whether it is going to be something else.
They're fine with the Leona being picked up here.
I think that's
what they have in mind.
Isn't it super weird, though, just because they were going to have 0 engage, and if it was Karma as well, then T1 are never going to be able to do anything.
Yeah, but the lane pressure would be, I think, incomparable.
That's true.
And the main thing with the weaknesses of not having engaged, I don't think apply to T1 because they're maniacs. So like they're gonna play super aggro in lane. They're gonna get first 2 objectives. So I understand it from that perspective. I do think Ezreal Leona is still insanely good. So I don't think T1's gonna be too bothered by the fact that the pressure lane is not available to them. This is a clean way to kind of end the draft. The Jax is not as exciting.
I mean, it's exciting, but it's dangerous.
Yeah, I think the Aatrox is a safer bet. Even though it's not going to really make you excited, there isn't really too much synergy towards the top side. Normally we love to see something like the Sejuani, even though Sejuani Aatrox hasn't necessarily been standout due to the fact that Aatrox not really autoing as much as something like a Jax would. This is, this is no front line. Well, you have Leona, I guess.
I mean, this is the classic.
That's the throwback. But Jace is already strong, and Jace is going to get buffed next patch as well. So I honestly, try and get as many Jace games in as you can. And Zeus is also going to have his skin released sometime soon, so I got to crank up that Jace value.
Got to make sure that you, it's like the preview. Got to get it in there. But this also does mean that any sort of engage that they were lacking wouldn't have mattered. They have Leona anyway, but they're going to outrange BNK anyway. So playing in the neutral with this composition just sounds miserable for BNK.
It does.
How does Zyra ever get in there to do plant stuff?
Yeah, you don't. You already got to just...
Okay, let's see what they can do as we hop onto the rift for game number 1. All right, here we are onto the rift for game 1. T1 fans out in force here today. There is not too many empty seats that I can see, and in fact, none. The people that were going to be in those seats are actually on their way. So I spotted like a couple that were empty, but no, not for long. All right, let's see how the start is going to go, because I think this is going to be very, very important, as Raptor is also going for the Conqueror this time around on Zyra as well. I haven't seen that one personally before.
No, really, I think we saw it maybe once before. Not 100% sure. It definitely is something that we don't see very often. I think it was Brand, actually, that ended up going for Conqueror.
It is going to be Gumayushi on the earlier roam, though, as now FAKER in a little bit of trouble. Closer going aggressive. The former T1 mid laner actually putting a lot of pressure on here in this mid lane. FAKER just going to be able to eat some potions, though, and we'll just try and clear out this wave, as now Henna could be in trouble. Oh, the Zenith Blade just barely missing.
A great moment, as we do see Raptor trying to take this. Might be a little bit of a smite fight here, but look at that. Advantage on the roam.
Yeah, Grasping Roots going down there. Good smite there from Raptor as well.
Oh, he's 6 now.
Yeah.
That's actually quite nice, but look at that top lane Zeus.
This is the problem. Man advantage certainly going to be there for T1 as Zeus does come down. That is a lot of damage from Raptor here, and now the headbutt pole, but great buffer from FAKER. Still, BNK, they take control of these grubs, and they'll have him.
That's a with BNK looking kind of clean with it. Little bit surprised here, Atlas. Actually,
very impressed with Raptor.
Yeah, actually, really nicely played Herald Contester. I think one of the big things was that Zeus did have great prio, but he also was already chunked a little bit, and he was relatively low on mana. So obviously faking that he had reinforcements on the way, because if they knew that was an actual 1v2, he might have been in some trouble.
I mean, there are a few cooldowns down, and it was only level 5 for carrier, so maybe that's just...
yeah.
He saw an angle there as the first Drake is going to be taken. We've got Chemtech into Cloud, probably an Ocean Soul, I would assume, based on the amount of rain today. As now Closer's just flying his way up. Daisy's out here as well. He's in melee range with a Jace, and that is dangerous. And also, the Angry Cupcake making her way over. So Faker with some spare time on this turret. Raptor going to come on over and try and answer. As I was talking about mid lane Zara, there we go. We nailed it. Not going to find the grasping roots.
It's actually
looks exactly like my gameplay.
Oh, pretty nicely. Faker does have the buffer.
Yeah, is he actually going to be able to find it though? Oh, the Buster shot's beautiful there. I don't think Faker could have played that. Like, that was how he gets out of the gank, and he saw it. He saw it, found the window, gets out.
Really clean. Duro was very clearly looking for the interrupt mid-jump. Obviously, Tristana, it looks a little bit silly, but you can actually knock her out of the jump. I think this composition does really well until very late.
Oh, Arrow is going to find the tree, as Duro going to avoid the True Shot barrage actually quite nicely. Still. We're once again doing this thing where Henna throws out an arrow, and there's kind of no one there.
At the very least, though, you can just play for grubs. You know?
Yeah.
Player a standing guard should be able to catch this wave, and Zeus is actually on the back. Yeah, he's not going to walk in. Just catch the wave. You're getting your Raptors.
He's going to... Okay, he just made his way over.
That's fine.
Yep. And there we go. That should be 6 grubs going over to B&K, which is fantastic when you're against a Tristana. Denying Tristana any grubs.
Play some swarm games with him before going to work.
Swan games? What's that?
Swarm. The
Swarm games. I thought you said Swan games. I'm like, are they like duck games? Okay, here goes the arrow. Grasping Roots connects, and there's your first blood, and it goes to Duro.
Well earned, not what you want.
I'm very sad that I started off the first blood of this series with talking about Swan games that didn't even exist.
Well, there's a lot of flooding happening. I understand the fact that you'd be thinking about Swans Atlas.
Yeah, there we go.
Duro, though, nicely done. Good setup. One of the big weaknesses of the Ivan is that once you do get on top of him, which can be very tough, there is a T1 taking out their anger after losing to Humble Life. Might still come. I'm not...
Well, I mean, they need to start fighting for some of these neutrals, because right now, B&K have taken all of them. Zeus should be able to get some spare time with this outer turret on the bottom side of the map, so that is going to be first turret blood going over to T1. So certainly good, but the trade is actually just everything as far as the neutral objectives so far this game. The Dragon also going to be taken here, though, so T1 are going to finally get their first one. Faker just clearing out this Krug camp. Well and truly behind enemy lines. Faker going to look to pick up this wave as now Closer goes in, doesn't find the big one, but Raptor's still going to be able to throw this one down. And if they manage to take this inner turret, that is a huge influx of gold for this team. As Duro, he's still going to go for it, looks to get the charge as he's a very tanky boy, and he does, of course, have the Unbreakable Will, so he was going to be fine. Still, they do manage to get the charge. Nicely done.
T1 will have to give up the teleport for that. So he should get us back in, so does finish his first half of the Anamune.
This is pretty proactive, and they've got 6 grubs, remember. This should be taken down, as there's the other teleport coming on in here. Faker going to make his way over. Zeus gets on down here, but Clear will be able to secure this turret. Can they keep themselves alive, though, is the question. Is Faker looking to try and get out, but the Valkyrie's going to be there. Closer's still looking for more as, the root caller comes in. That's going to stop the aggression. But B&K, they are not taking this lying down, and in fact, it's about like, he hit them.
Okay, fair enough. Still,
all right. He needs to be a little bit careful here, maybe a lot of bit careful, as he takes most of his health bar. Okay, there's the Soul of Fleb. That's also not really going to do too much, and like you say, the grubs certainly paying dividends as they just take down the outer turret.
It can go Sterix into a very heavy bruiser build.
Another one, as the turret was also hitting him, but the turret just explodes, and Duro is now going to look for Faker. There's a headbutt. Pulverize as well. Once again, there's unfortunately not a lot of people there, but they still get the flash. Good sidestep from Clear. Avoids Carrier as well. B&K just have the answers today.
They just look good individually as well. Like,
look at this. Getting the push, the full 4 collapse into the mid lane. They'll take this in a turret as well. Out rotating. This was not on my bingo card. I need a new bingo card.
Okay, B&K is fine.
throw the arrow.
Just a drake. It's just one ocean drake. Not going to be the end of the world.
What about trading it for Baron? Teleport does come in here.
Yeah, with Zyra?
I mean, they have Leandris.
Yeah, you can. They gotta be sneaky about it, and I think they would have already had to pull the trigger. Now the rotation for T1 is really easy, and it's T1. I don't think you're gonna catch them off guard. Are gonna spot it now. Do know this is going on as Duro.
Oh, arrow is going to pierce on through, but now Duro could be in a whole lot of trouble. He has to flashes. He takes Carrier with him. Solar Flare doesn't do too much, but now Clear has found the back line. There goes Carrier as kill number one. True Shot Barrage splits the middle of the fight. They have lost a lot of health bars. Heba polarized, and Gumayushi, he's too far forward. And now Clear wants even more. He's flashing in the Strangled Thorns, and there's the double kill for Closer. I mean, I didn't see it working, but then it just worked.
And it looks like Duro is making a classic challenger mistakes, tries to get the catch on a Tristana.
Right.
This is still very risky. I want to reiterate, this is a very big Jace.
Oh, Clear blocking.
That's
the
big.
shot
I think
blast.
they got
That
it.
was beautiful. Yeah, this is just secured. B&K going from good to better.
Oh, there was 5 health on the Baron, but it's fine. They got it.
Because the thing that's been the most sad about this squad is the conversation about the jungle, right? And the fact that, you know, you see Willer and Challenger and it's not necessarily any better, and you're wondering, is Arrows going to connect once again? And like, what is this? Targeted arrows? That's insane. All right, they're going to grab another inner turret. This Rebel Baron power play is starting to get completely out of control. We're moving towards a 6,000 gold lead. There's a Solar Flare. That's going to connect as Duro does tank the Shock Blast. That could have otherwise been a whole lot of damage onto Henna, and he could have almost been dead, as now Clear just umbrally dashes out of the way of the Zenith Blade, and he will be absolutely fine. This siege is working out. They're looking to try and take down the rest of this turret. They'll get it, as Daisy, he takes a lot of damage there as well and will go down.
Yeah, the problem is there's only one Zeus. Like, Zeus is a free item spike. He's insanely strong, but there's just one of him.
Duro gonna get in there first as there's Clear, finally discovered. Carrier does have the Eclipse available, but Clear's got a World Ender, and he has got a right to use it. He's gonna be able to take down the Leona now as B&K, they just have all of the control. The arrow is gonna be avoided by the Arcane Shift. Nicely done there. The opportunism though, I love it here from Henna. And they're gonna get the big old triumphant roar, and everyone's gonna be absolutely fine. Closer also, look at that gusto. Just utilizing his Valkyrie to eat some cooldowns. As now T1, they don't want to give this one up. Duro going to be discovered there as Faker going to have to rocket jump his way back. In goes Closer there, finds that Trinity Force proc onto Gumayushi and just does so much damage. My goodness, this dragon, not long for the world. T1 not going to be able to contest that one, but it's this next Baron in 1 minute's time that I'm really worried about. I think if B&K gets that, they just win this game.
I agree. That's the last stand for T1, and what are you actually going to be able to finish? Look at the power spikes. Right?
Oh, it's huge. And Closer, I don't think I've seen him this large in a game so far this season. As
maybe not even
trying to stay out of vision. Closer is now on vision completely. Duro going to get spotted here. This Baron is going down so incredibly low. Carrier gets into the pit. He'll have some vision there. The health bars are going low. Ona, can he get in there? The answer is no. The Stranglethorns gets the knockups as well as Carrier thrown around like a ragdoll. Faker dives in now. They're looking for the last-ditch effort. As Clear has found Ona, he dives on top of Faker and executes him. Zeus now trying to do what he can, but it is over. It is done. They'll take the Baron. They'll take the team fight. And by goodness, they're going to take the game.
And B&K, we were watching, we're holding our breaths, Atlas, because we were like, there's no way. There's no way, right? That even a game win would be colossal for this team. And you look at the scoreline. It's not even close.
It's not. And it's beautifully executed. It's wonderfully played here from B&K as well. Maybe this is the start of their resurgence right at the end of the first round robin of summer. There goes the Nexus. It's only one game, but this is a team that was at the very bottom of the standings. 9 as well as the Renekton and the Vi, and there is Rumble, Nidalee, and Sejuani. So, Tristana, Corki, both of them still up and available. Let's see what the priority is going to be here for T1 as Ezreal is going to be locked away first.
And it makes me wonder if they want to play Ezreal mid. I think Guma on the Ezreal unfortunately just didn't look that good. Also comes off the back of some of the performances we've seen from Viper, who I think right now very clearly at first place, but I think even Pace has had some standout games on it.
Aiming's also looked pretty good.
Aiming's looked good on it. We've had Deft as well. Henna has been a very early fan of this.
Yeah.
So him picking up doesn't come as too much of a surprise. And this is, I really, again, want to reiterate, the confidence from BNK to say, pick Tristana again, do it.
Yeah.
Like, we don't care. Closer will lock in whatever is left open, and he will stop. And I gotta say, I really think that when it comes to the current level of tier list, something that Gen G was very vocal about, what T1 is doing makes complete sense. But after that first game, it gives me pause, Atlas. I think that they are trying to play a style that maybe doesn't work for them. I think Faker just hasn't looked good on the Tristan. He's had some games where he's like really popped off, but outside of that, hasn't been enough. The Corki would make a lot of sense here. Maybe they want to go for the Lucian.
Maybe you just lock in Zyra here as well, because Raptor was pretty good on it.
Wow.
Instead, the Aatrox's going to be picked up, and now a couple of bans to protect it if they would like to use. And you can keep flexing the Ziggs as well. I think Zyra, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Looked very, very good, and more plants was better than just, you know, the one plant with his rock friend, you know?
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one-to-one friend. Last time.
Ooh, he's going to lock it this time. Yasuo and the Braum to be picked up here from Carrier.
Oh, yeah, we haven't mentioned this yet, but this should seem obvious, right?
Oh, God, yes. This is Closer.
This is his most iconic champion. It's a champion that we've seen him be very hit or miss. I think this is a lot more consistent. I actually quite like this. We've seen Zeka have standout performances on this. Chovy's also picked it and was fine, but it's Gen G. The data isn't real. I gotta say, Atlas, I'm looking at this T1 comp, and you are very reliant on doing a really good job in your lanes, because I think that, unlike last game, the Yone fits much worse than the Jace did in this style of composition. You can try and play, you know, aggressively and go in with Daisy and Zisk instead of big combos. Faker can jump in. But if the game state is anything like last time, you don't have the Jace to bail you out. And I love the composition for BK.
See whether they can find that as we head to the Rift for Game 2. All right. Here we are onto the Rift for game number 2. And we'll see whether T1 can bring us to a game 3 here. And they're going to have to double down. I think that if the momentum is going to continue in the way that BNK had it in game number 1, this could just be a 2-0. They just looked really good.
It was a stomp. Right? The game realistically was a stomp, and we kept kind of waiting because we've cast enough T1 games, Atlas, to know that.
And I think that it was warranted,
But if they get a similar lead in this game, then it might be very, very different case. So we do take a look at some of the rune setups here. Nothing too surprising. Raptor going for the Conqueror again. They will keep track. I feel like tracking a Zyra doesn't do.
It was the fact that he would just go for risky plays, and he also looked completely unfazed by anything that happened, by his opposition, right? Like, he wasn't the kind of person that would seem nervous ever, as that was a nice sidestep there on the piercing light, as Faker's going to miss the rocket jump, then does get the reset and gets out, but still not exactly the greatest of situations.
Oh,
here as they're playing.
looking.
Yeah, he's looking for the option. See whether he gets there, as there's the grasping roots, but Faker does make his way out. Turret shot going to land, as now Duro really far up in this lane. Gonna get stunned up there as well. The door is going to come down, but Duro still has to flash away.
Big on that as Duro might be in some trouble here.
Yeah, Carrier's going to turn up. Some plans coming down here as well, and yes, no flash means no life anymore, and that is first blood going over to Faker. A much better start here for T1.
Yeah.
That's where Ziggs kind of started. It's where Showmaker recently played him.
Thanks, APA.
How it all goes, exactly right. As all right, now we're all just piling in on top of Raptor. Can he get the buttons off? The answer is absolutely not. As now the Culling's coming in. Carrier so low, Faker also so low. Duro so slow though, and he's not going to be able to catch up to them. He might just be lying on the floor as well, and Ona's going to pick it up with the explosion of the trigger seed. T1 just kind of toying with them in this game.
Yeah, that's Ivan Braum right there. That's how it's supposed to work. The safety, so incredibly powerful here for T1. able to get the most out of it, particularly with a champion with resets like Tristana. Very nice collapse there on top of Raptor, who didn't have his flash available. Are good. And when this composition is ahead, we didn't get to see it last game, even more so with the Braum. It's really obnoxious to play into. When Ivan just gets to set up shop and objectives, throw down his brushes, people just get to poke, take pot shots, use the...
B&K, they will be able to at least take the first dragon once again. I don't think that there is going to be enough, although they are closing in. Duro, can he actually get them out of this pit?
Gonna have a fight.
Yeah, it's looking like it. As Mountain Drake, very, very tanky. Raptor is going to be able to secure it as now Duro making his way in. Faker going to get stunned, but the buffer was good. Now the Hextech Minefield is down, and Henna should be able to take some control. And we haven't really seen a fight with the Ziggs around as well. I think that Henna should have a fair bit of ability to...
That's the target you guys are looking for.
Yeah, he's going to unbind the soul. Look for an angle here as Clear does get rid of the minions quite effectively. And Closer just doing his very best to try and hold onto this turret as Faker goes in. There's the buster shot, and there is the kill! Just stacks up the explosive charge and nowhere for Closer to go. That's 4-0. It's just a complete reversal. A lot of tools available.
Yeah, it's Blade of the Rune King Dungeon for Faker. He has Owner with him as well. His mid lane turret is not long for the Wolf Atlas.
And Closer may not be either, as there's the root caller. Goomba Stomp does come on down here, and that's another stack up. And that is just Faker killing him one more time. With the help of Owner, they'll be able to take out this outer turret as well. And everything's just on fire for B&K. It was joy. It was beautiful. They were in Valhalla for game 1. Game 2 is a very different story.
Realistically, looking at the draft, I think that T1 should have a lot of power, and this time around they're playing like it.
Well then, going to be employed here by Clear. Looks to clear out the wave as well, as now Owner's going to turn up at the same time. There are no minions left as he does flash on over, but there's the ulti from Zeus. There is the cleanup. They do manage to collect that kill, as now Raptor not finding any Stranglethorn value at all, really.
Yeah, the flash. Owner actually just got out.
Yes, just waits for this turret to go down. Carrier looking to try and block what he can, but is going to be in a turret protected by the Ziggs. But this is not the Ziggs doing the things that we like talking about, which is killing turrets and getting plates and being rotated around so you can maximize the amount of structural damage you can get done. This is not that at all. He's managed to take one plate on the bottom side, I think. I believe we got word of that just prior, but
Atlas, they've
not really anything.
They've gotten one Drake.
Yeah.
Gotten one Drake this game.
They did.
I don't know if they're going to get a whole lot more.
Well, they're not going to get this Drake, because this one's going to T1.
Yeah, I'm really trying to look for something, but Braum Ivern comps, man.
The Ziggs scaling. Oh, it's actually a Cloud Soul!
I'm going to go back to what happened to G2 at MSI, which is the only way you lose if
Solar Flare goes completely
caught.
wide, and there is the Tristana possibly not getting caught.
Yeah, that's the only angle. Like that's how. If I remember correctly, yeah, this was T1 versus G2, right? Game number 3. And G2 was in a really good position, and all they needed to do was not get caught. Then, unfortunately, I think T1 found the catch in mid, if I remember correctly, and from there on out, there wasn't really a whole lot more that they could do. That's the position T1 is in right now. I'd like to think that they've learned from that and won't repeat the same mistake again, because there are a lot of compositions where, you know, one bad team fight can take you out of it.
Yeah.
One player overextending in side lane, the poke setup that isn't great. But I'm just looking at the 1v1 matchups, and they're a disaster. I'm looking at months.
Yeah, it's quite some time. It's quite some time. As all right, there's an ulti. That's going to get a flash out, so Closer at least will survive for the moment, as this inner turret not going to be going down just yet. Ran out of minions momentarily, but getting the flash out of Closer, this is very dangerous times. Raptor just trying to exist in his jungle. As, all right, Stranglethorn's going to come in. That's going to get a flash out. That is good news. This is not good news, though, because Zeus has his soul unbound and just destroys Closer. That's a solo kill. That's 0-3 now for the Lucian. And Raptor's going to... And now Clear could be in a bunch of trouble. Does have Raptor moving on over, and Duro is in position. There are quite a few members of T1 in the area. And this outer turret is going to get taken for that reason.
And then, you know, ganked once or twice.
There's the knock-up. Engage Braum coming on in there, as they'll just buy enough space to guarantee themselves this blue buff steal. that is successfully going to happen. As Daisy still staying amongst it. Clear looking for that flank angle, seeing whether he can get Faker, but not going to be able to stop him from rocket jumping away. And B&K, just not a lot of inroads, not a lot of options, and the inner turret just going to be taking a lot of damage here towards his top side. Mega Inferno Bomb is going to clear out the wave. It is. There's a lot of water all over the place. I actually kind of miss living near the Han River, where I used to be able to like walk past and just see just how ridiculously overflowed it is.
I kind of want to see the actual river. That's going to be even more fun.
Yeah, that was the most fun. Going for those walks just to discover.
It's nice.
Just go for a walk. Yeah, I love it. So liberating. Walking in the rain. Oh, yeah. It's the best. No one does it here. Everyone's very, very scared of getting rained on.
Yeah,
I don't know why. You'd be very used to it as
our weather is not great.
I mean, if you really like rain, it's the best weather ever.
The rain, no, it's just drizzle.
But what about this teleport? This could be an option here. As
double TP
is going to make it happen. Yeah, double TP does come on in. Zeus is going to be ulting around for a little bit, buying as much time as he can as the rest of his team head toward the Baron. And yeah, Zeus might even be able to die on his own terms here on this one as well, as he does unbind. He's doing some tricky stuff, but the Infernal Chains will come on down, and there's the slam dunk. So they take the top laner. Raptor wanting to try and get in here. I don't know whether he's going to be able to, though. And Faker is going to be able to kill him in the meantime. Dura looking to flash away, but that is a reset on that rocket jump, and Faker's going to find even more. That's the double. They'll take a Baron to boot, and yes, B&K do manage to get their first kill of the game, but it's in trade for probably a Nexus after all things are said and done. Looking extraordinarily over. It's a 10,000 gold lead, 23 minutes, shellacking territory well and truly as Carrier puts up the door, and B&K desperately just trying to hold off these Baron minions. There are brushes everywhere, and this is what this comp does so incredibly well. Henna, he's going to get chunked out. Solar Flare is going to connect. There's the Mega Inferno Bomb doing a fair bit of work, and they're going for the re-engage. Can they find it as Clear, the one that managed to get a kill, is going to try and end the world, but unfortunately it's his that ends instead. And T1 getting a bunch of extra exit kills here as well. Zeus does fall down, so it is a 2-for-1 trade. Daisy also going to suffer her demise, but T1's still going to be able to get their prize. That is going to be the inner turret on the bottom side of the map, and they might be able to get even more. As I apologize for the rhyme halfway through there. It was not my intent, I promise.
I didn't even notice it, Atlas.
Oh, that's good.
Just
that's good.
Being enamored by what is happening right in front of us on the screen. T1, get the bot lane in it. The pressure, I don't know how they got here, but it's not good, Atlas!
We're out of the replay, into the fire, and Gumayushi throwing through these Mystic shots. They might get Daisy, there you go, Clear, looking for a flank angle. This is a bit weird, to be perfectly honest, because we're Alcove gaming, and now Gumayushi is in a little bit of, no, Clear's in a lot of trouble. And there's an ulti from Zeus, he dives in, they're able to take down Raptor, and now Faker, he just kills all of them. He gets a triple. Guma's going to grab a double. It's a full house. Faker's full of Gumas, and they'll now move towards the enemy base and probably end this game.
Yeah, say bad, Atlas. The super minions are knocking at the door, and T1 says, okay, yeah, we can help you out with that one.
Yeah, I think it's time to stop messing around. Let's go to game 3 and really throw down in this one. There goes the Nexus. T1, a swift turnaround after what was a disappointing first game, and back to business as usual.
Ashban do love that. We saw the priority that B&K put on it, and Henna had an exceptional performance on it.
Ooh,
I actually don't mind this. I think Closer had a really good game, and I know Faker just got PUG for his Tristana, but it still has, to me, a level of volatility that makes me go, that's okay. The Ivern, I think, makes sense again. Really, it's one of those interesting games where I think as either team, you can feel relatively confident running back parts of the draft, right? The Tristana is definitely going to come out here. I do think that they need to ban away the Braum. I think the caster, or the Deska, she did a really good job of highlighting how much value that Braum did get. Carrier also, I think, was a very great right medieval, because if you look at a lot of those early game plays, he was there, setting them up, being on the front foot.
Well,
this is interesting, because this actually puts T1 in a bit of an awkward position. They will lock in Tristana, but that does mean that at least some of the Gnar counters are going to get banned away. The GP, I think, most likely. That's the most shocking thing to come through, and Zeus is just going to take one for the team. Did a very admirable job, although it wasn't enough in game 1. Then, you know, had a great Yone game and still managed to be, I think, the only one on the team that died, which is very funny.
Hey, but he died to get a Baron.
Oh, no.
Strategic.
He still had a great game, right? Insane amount of pressure. Ooh, okay.
Interesting.
Interesting in a bad way, I take it.
Yeah.
It hasn't really been working out.
It's not giving me a lot of positive vibes.
It's not giving.
No.
No, I'm with you. I think the Senna has really struggled. When Guma isn't playing Senna anymore, you kind of know.
That's Seraphine.
Okay, that kind of catches me off guard. Because I think Seraphine picking it when the Senna's like locked in, you want to deny it, that makes sense. I guess whenever Ornn ults, you can just throw the Seraphine ult out in response. So it makes sense in that regard. And you have double Enchanter, which double Enchanter, double AD carry is very fun to play into. Yep. I guess in that light, it does make some sense.
Also in the sense of the intro for the LCK at the moment and the break music the majority of the time, it's a lot of Seraphine that we've had going on. BNK, they did it in game 1. We'll see whether they can do it here in game number 3. I feel like the T1 fans have gotten louder and louder as the day has gone on. And of course, this is the deciding game. And a victory moving towards their matchup against Home Life Esports on Saturday is extraordinarily important, right? They need to stay in that race for getting at least towards second. Gen.G not looking like they're going to lose ever this season.
They're definitely not likely to lose their next series, Atlas.
Hey, we thought that was the case for this series as well, Chronicler, okay?
Okay, but T1 has also dropped games to Pro.
Owie.
And Gen.G don't really have the same habit of dropping random games against weaker teams.
Yeah, if that was the case, they wouldn't have dropped any games at all this whole season.
Exactly.
All right, okay, yeah, that's exactly what happened.
I do want to give a little bit of credit here to Duro for going Unsealed Spellbook.
Hey, there we go.
No grasping.
Honestly, Raptor, though, is going to get started on these grubs.
That's nice. And some grubs. Mid lane also. Both these mid laners really extending the laning phase. They haven't backed. They're just both sitting on a single one. Duro.
Yeah, this is looking a little bit dicey, but Gumishi has to get over the wall and doesn't have very much mana left.
Wait, Duro's healed. He's vibing. Yeah. Well, okay, Hannah's not vibing. I take it back.
Does now use the heal as Ona comes on in. There's the root caller, and oh dear. Duro. Very, very low Trusha Barrage. Splits them up, but they are still alive.
They don't have that much damage. That's kind of awkward.
Duro,
they haven't backed.
They're going to go for it again. This time it is just Duro. Henna is nowhere in sight. He's actually looking for a gank on that top side. Exactly. As Zeus looking to go all out, does pull them underneath the turret, loses a bunch of his tankiness though, and Henna doesn't really want to be tanking this turret. And as you can see there, if he got hit again, he would have been very, very dead. As Stranglethorns comes in, Zeus is going to avoid it, but no one's really hitting any of the turret's not hitting any of the bad guys. So it is just going to be Zeus going down in the end. They still managed to get the flash out of Raptor, and that is certainly good news. As the siege continues in this bottom lane, Duro, your turret is very low, and then you're going to find yourself kind of by yourself against two people. And so he is going to realize that, and he will vacate. 6 grubs going over to BNK, though, in trade for the dragon that is going to be picked up on the other side by Ona. First dragon coming on in. Daisy alongside Ivern going to be able to take that one down. So BNK, they want to be able to take down this turret.
6 grubs.
Yeah.
As you point out. I want to highlight, I want to see the replay. I think there was actually an angle for Zeus to get out there, maybe with the investment of his flash.
BNK is now clear, looking to jump after Faker. It is a Yordle battle, and he smacks him out of the air! Man, it was like he was playing volleyball, just throws him against the wall.
Ideal. We already have talked so many times about how volatile this matchup is. To chew for this pretty consistently. This is, again, a composition for T1. Once you start losing, recapturing control of the map is really tough. You don't have, outside of Zeus, anyone that can face check. and you want to aim in a side lane, so it's not like you have a jungler or a support, which has a lot easier time of transitioning from either clearing camps or, you know, support's job in general is just to make sure that you do have something.
Not going to be able to answer it. Just not enough control in that river. So they'll give that one up. That's going to be 2 dragons to nothing in favor of T1.
We'll see what dragon ends up being. Actually, one of the games where the Camp Texel was unironically really good. You have the heal on one end.
True.
Or
oh, it's Earth, Wind, and Fire. Though, don't you worry about it.
Oh my God.
Yep. Getting closer and closer to September. You know, that's when it has to happen.
It really does. Actually, we really will.
Standing in this brush, working out very, very well. Is now a teleport in. Closer, making his way forward. Teleporting in answer here from Zeus as well. Wanting to get himself over because of the investment put in here by BNK. Now let's see whether they do successfully get this charge to work out. The charge is definitely coming in. It's just whether they can keep themselves alive. Dawning Shadow, decent amount of work here getting done as they take down the Cassante. The turret's also dead. The Wallop not going to connect, but BNK, this is the kind of tempo, this is the kind of gusto that we saw in Game 1.
And BNK, this is all very telegraphed.
Versions of Tristana, because of course both of them, you know, get more range as they level up, things like that. So I'm feeling like maybe it's a thing. Is all right, Zeus looking for an angle there, doesn't find the Q3. And Teleport going to be invested. Another one going to be down towards the bottom side as well. So that is double summoner spells here for T1, just desperate to try and get this game moving back.
And the counter punch.
Oh, wow.
It's not enough, yeah. Like,
Clear has teleport.
They don't have TPs. Zeus used his flash in that play as well. They used a lot of ultimates. I don't think they have the damage though. Crucially, Closer wasn't there. So it is just Raptor as well as Hannah. Hannah also going for an actual AD build, by the way. Kraken Slayer, not the lethality weapons, but they're going to keep going.
Yeah, they're
Owner
still on
flash.
it. They're still on it. Let's see whether Owner can actually get in there. He dives into the pit, but it's going to be secured by Raptor. They take down the other tree as well as now you've got Clear diving on top. And BNK, I guess they took a vacation for game number 2 because they are back here and they are ready to play for game 3.
They are refreshed, Atlas. I don't know what beat they went to.
How is it refreshing what happened in game number 2? I don't know, but it obviously was because they're taking an inner turret. They just got a Baron. It's 4-0. What?
It's, you know when a movie gets so bad that you can't help but laugh? That's BNK in the last game, like, who cares? We got stumped. Yeah. It happens. But right now, I don't even think they're the strongest they're going to be. And they just got Nash.
Going off, so I think you just kind of have to go.
Yeah, I like, Owner not hitting that smite is definitely not, not the problem with the whole sequence of events here for T1. But right now, Atlas, I think it's looking amazing here for BNK. And
100%. And it's too early for it to be looking this amazing, right? Like, this is the biggest problem for the T1 composition is that you've also still got Ornn and Senna. Like, where are the ornaments? They don't even have any yet. Duro's only level 12.
And it really does feel like what we said after game number 1 applies here again. It just doesn't feel, unless they get huge leads early, which was thanks to Owner and Carry out the case in game number 2 rather. This doesn't really feel.
Oh, the Stranglethorns is going to connect here as now Faker has to rocket jump out, but wasn't able to buffer that one. Still, he is going to keep himself alive. True Shot Barrage doing a fair bit of work here as Daisy's going to go down. Henna has to flash. In the meantime, Clear is just destroying an inner turret. Duro is there with him as well. Not entirely sure why. He was just wandering around, having a good time. They managed to take the inhibitor turret on the top lane and 7,000 gold. Now the issue is T1, they're moving over, and maybe it's not as much of an issue because this Baron can be two-manned, I think. As Stranglethorns comes in, there are so many seeds in there. It's going down so fast. The Ram is going to get the knock-up. It might be another 50-50 is clear. The Null bar is stacking, but the health bar isn't. Still, he makes it to a brush. The Baron is going to be secured. There is a snare on top of Zeus, but he still manages to make his way out. The Mega Gnar does come in. That's the root caller connecting, and that's going to buy them some space. So all 5 alive, but the Baron is not. They'll take an outer turret, for their trouble. And I think BNK are okay to go for that trade. There is also a Mountain Drake on the map that B&K could head over to if they would like, and Clear says no, because I don't need to kill a dragon if I kill a Nexus instead. And now everyone's going back. If B&K wanted to, they could head over and take that dragon if they'd like to, and it's a Nexus turret potentially. No, the minion wave is going to stop it, but it's mid lane inhibitor turret as well. This rotation is gorgeous from B&K.
B&K, no, they don't need the dragon. It's not necessary, Atlas. You want to get those base structures. Top lane inhib already down. That's going to make the dragon a formality anyway. I do think B&K, they haven't backchat after getting the Baron, right? So get the backs in, move over to Nash.
Ooh, that.
Yeah, okay, but that doesn't...
It means that they don't get any of the global gold.
Yeah, that's true. They might get the dragon as well. So if there is an angle where T1 win, it does come off of them getting Mountain.
And that's going to be bounty gold as well, so that's going to keep things a little bit more even. Mountain Soul point available. The problem is that there is an inhibitor now missing, and there's also an open floodgate in this mid lane. And so yes, they do manage to augment their dragons with the mountain variety, Earth, Wind, and Fire in T1's back pockets. I just don't know how relevant it's going to be as poor Daisy just gets destroyed as soon as she comes up. In a turret here, the last one remaining going to be seen to by Clear. His teleport is up, and I think Zeus may have actually snuck around. True Shot Barrage is going to miss, and yeah, can he find the all-out angle? He flashes! He does not find it! The Redemption comes in as well. There's the all-out we were talking about, but it's on to Duro. He's so incredibly tanky. Carrier, not so much, and Raptor just blows him up! And the rest of T1 are now split. They fanned out. They're going to give up their inhibitor. An inhibitor turret is already being taken down because Clear set that one up earlier. And that's going to be all of the inhibs down. I think FEARX may have done it.
Atlas, it's happening. B&K are going to get the upset win. We're in game number 3. T1, the loss against Homa, that was one thing. But there's something else entirely. Duro is TPing in.
This could be it, the resurgence for B&K. Clear smacks them both into their Nexus. And now Gumayushi is going to go for it, but he's not going to be able to find the angle. There goes the Nexus. Upset complete. B&K FEARX take down T1.
And ever since Duro joined, I think the